Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of what, gentlemen? What is it? What is this?
Pre-match Muti.
Pre-match Muti. Yes.
We gotta build up on the introduction for pre-match since it's the only match.
Exactly, it's the only match for the week. That's a new update. But before we get into that update, obviously we're just gonna touch on the fact that Man City and Arsenal top the log, ladies and gentlemen. To the point of Wonga's haircut, they're fresh like his team. And we got the battle of the bridge on and off the field between Tuchel and Conte. We got Man Utd and Liverpool obviously stuttering their first two games. Man Utd officially sitting 20th on the log and Liverpool sitting 12th. Not too good for these two sides. And obviously the next game,
I'm doing something right, guys.
And then we've got newbies Nottingham Forest beating the Hammers. And it's quite interesting because Nottingham Forest have continued spending, and they spent another 43.5 million pounds today. So the second highest spenders of the league, and we're going to be unpacking the weekend's results as well. So, gentlemen, in the house, we've got top right corner, Wonga Denga, the fresh haircut Denga there, the Denganator. And then bottom, we've got one Man United fan who's got some good news in the transfers season. He's changing his colors from green to blue, but I'll let him tell you all about it. Selo?
Yeah, no, I'm changing jobs, guys. Yeah, so from next month, I'll be as Fabrizio Romano says, here we go, confirmed, signed, sealed, delivered. Here we go. I've changed jobs from the current colors, which is green, to blue. So that's me from next month. Hey, and yeah, man, I'm excited about the new job. I've been at my current place for 7.5 years. Which is quite a long time. Claudia doesn't know what that is because he doesn't. He's probably ever been in corporate for a year, probably. And that's about it.
Selo, I spent a good 10 years at one football club, and I learned my errors in that way. So I was not doing it in the working world. But it is quite interesting, Selo. Oh, there goes Wonga Denga. And it's so funny that he was saying his internet line was working.
This always happens when we go live. He's sorted, and then boom.
It's like today just came to show off. He just came to show his face because he knew.
And he's got a new haircut, that's why.
A new haircut. And now he's done. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all you're going to get from an Arsenal fan today. But Selo, it's interesting. You've got a nice background there. You're leaving the green sort of side of things to the blue side of things, but no green screen needed now to have a nice picture there of an old Trafford.
Hey, man, it's
nice. Old Trafford for a reason, because it's breaking down.
Look at the grass. Look at the grass. It's lush. It's green. It's getting watered for the game on Monday. The big game between us two. But I guess we'll get into a bit more detail later on that. Thanks, Louis. Thanks, Louis, for the comment there.
Yeah, he noticed. Louis, we appreciate you. If you're in the comments for the first time, don't be afraid to say hello. Selo loves saying one or two things, so don't be shy there. But yes, we are back, and let us kick off with the first topic. I might as well move it because Wonga's disappeared, so we're not going to talk about that game. Selo, we might as well just jump straight into Man United here, sir. It's Brentford 4, Man United 0 away from home. The startup team giving a proper hiding in the first half. I think United's biggest defeat was 5-0. This is not far from it. Overall thoughts, opinions in terms of how things shook out here.
Yeah, I think I guess not luckily, but I guess also luckily and unluckily for me, I wasn't watching the game. I was watching the Springbok game at that point in time, but I just heard that we had gone. I think probably by the time the Springbok game ended, I think it was 3-0 3-0 already, and it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. And I watched the game back to see what happened, but I think what you can see with this team is that their confidence is quite low as a club. And because their confidence is quite low as a team, as soon as De Gea made that mistake, you could see their heads drop. So I think it's very important for a team like Man United to get the first goal, because once they go behind, they seem so vulnerable. They can't even think anymore. They can't even do the basics right. And you saw that on the weekend, with the second goal, where De Gea shouldn't have passed the ball to Eriksen in that position. He should have passed the ball either wide or obviously kick it up top. But he kind of played the pass to Eriksen, who had a man behind him, and Eriksen then still tried to put the ball in this direction, and maybe he should have maybe rather kept it on himself rather, and maybe played it back to De Gea. I think that could have been a better solution, right? Instead of trying to play a quick pass, because obviously with the quick pass they figured it out, and then they got it blocked, and then they scored from that mistake. So I think Man United in itself has a lot of changes that needs to happen. I've been obviously reading a couple of fan pages and so on and so forth, and people who have better memories than myself. But when Pep came in, right? Pep sold 15 players in 2 years. In 2 seasons, he sold 15 players and he bought 20. Imagine that. Imagine 15 players and bought 20. You remember? I don't remember the first season. He spent a lot on his defense, right? I think he spent probably near 150 million. So he bought Walker. He bought Benjamin Mendy. Cool. Wrong. Obviously, he bought who's this guy? He bought a centre back. I think he bought Otamendi. But he bought a centre back. Yeah, so he bought.
Was Otamendi from Benfica?
Yeah, he bought Otamendi, and he bought Walker and Benjamin Mendy, and then he added other players. But also he inherited a good team. He inherited Aguero, he inherited Sterling, inherited KDB, inherited Company. David Silva. So look at those core players that inherited, those 5 good players that inherited, and then he added pieces that made sense to him. He shipped out Joe Hart, got Claudio Bravo in immediately, a ball-playing goalkeeper. So he immediately made the changes that he required for his type of team. So now you look at a coach like Ten Hag. Ten Hag needs certain pieces to obviously do well as a coach. He wanted a ball-playing centre back. It took some time to try and get Timber. Then they moved on to
found the shortest one he could find.
No, the height thing is nothing. Is neither here nor there. I don't understand. It shows actually how Jamie Carragher is such a bad pundit. He was making mention of his height, where he didn't lose any aerial battles in that game. He played against.
But they took him off at half time.
No, but listen. Ivan Toney in that game even said that some challenges that guy got the ball ahead of him. He got the ball sometimes ahead of him. You know what I mean? And I think it's because he was quite clever in the way he would challenge Toney in those games. You know what I mean? So I think it shows the lack actually of knowledge in a person like Jamie Carragher. But what do I expect? He wasn't really the cleverest player in the world. But coming back to the recruitment. Recruitment is important for any coach. Look at what Arteta has done also in the time that he had, and also look at Klopp. All these coaches that take over new teams, it takes time to obviously turn over their sides. But also they need to be backed and need to get the right pieces of.
But I mean, remember Klopp's situation. He came into a side that he inherited. That was already the season had kicked off, and he had to work with the players. And I think there's less so much. We know Man United are in the shambles, and we know there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. But so far, from what you've seen, Siddle, what I'm very curious about is this sort of factor. And I know it's a lot of factor, and I'm not trying to make a big spectacle about it, but what we saw going into the season is that you had a very good preseason. First game comes, all of a sudden, all of that seems like it went out of the window. Ronaldo joins the team. There's a lot of noise. And now he's coming out saying, he's going to tell the truth. How much of a factor is he in all of this? I know in terms of, and when I mean all of this, I mean at least from a Ten Hag starting point. Forget about the background noise.
Yeah, no, man. Listen, guys, you know what I said last season already, man. So, what I in terms of Ronaldo as a player, I love him to bits. A great player, but in all honesty, he was not the right signing to make when we signed him. He was a commercial buy. Let's be honest. He was a commercial buy. Amazing in terms of commercial for Manchester United, but in terms of footballing aspect. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't plan to buy Ronaldo. If he had planned to buy Ronaldo, he would have told the board to please get him Ronaldo at the beginning of the transfer window last season. He did not say that. It was just because Ronaldo became available and there was a potential of him potentially going to City. Then we're like, no, let's try and get this guy. But if you actually think about it, guys, he wasn't in the plans for that season. And he maybe derailed some of the plans that Ole had. Because listen, he's Ronaldo after all. Now you have to work your system around the player, right? I love him, great goals and everything like that. And listen. In terms of what he wants to say, why doesn't he say it now? Why doesn't he tell the truth now? Why is he only going to tell the truth in 2 weeks' time? Is it because he wants to only tell the truth after the transfer window is closed, after he leaves, or after the transfer window closes? You know what I mean? So that also isn't good, and obviously also it's taking away from the team as well when you have the sideshow of Ronaldo, basically with George Mendes taking him to every single club that is in the Champions League. I'm surprised he hasn't gone to Glasgow Celtic yet to say, hey, Celtic, don't you want me to play for your team?
Not yet. He's still got one more option. He's got the green and white lions from Lisbon that they're
yeah. So he's gone. He's been paraded to every single Champions League team. So
yeah.
So I honestly feel if he has something to say, rather say it now and then say it later.
Okay, cool. But that's about him saying the truth. But when we're looking at in terms of Ten Hag handling the situation, do you think he should just come out and say, listen, the guy should leave?
No. It's okay. I'm happy with the way Ten Hag is dealing with it. I'm happy with the way Ten Hag is dealing with it. I'm happy he's listen, it's a new coach. He needs to kind of manage the situation as best as possible. It's also a learning curve for him in being in a bigger club in terms of media attention. He wasn't the biggest club in Netherlands, but this is now the biggest club, one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Fair enough. Wonga, I want to ask from a Ronaldo perspective, has this kind of like accelerated or degenerated his career somewhat, making this move? My one fear was him going to Old Trafford, it not working out. Where does he go to next? The only viable solution for him would be a Lisbon, who would be happy to take him. The rest of the big sides not going to touch him, and it seems like that's happening. Do you think it's accelerated that process of him slowly moving out of Europe?
You can say that, Claudio, because it's for me, I thought it wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been a bad move. Like I was one of the people that's saying that, look, I believe he's going to score goals and the goals are going to help them at least finish in the Champions League spot. But it didn't turn out that way, and now you can't say it's sort of accelerated that thing of him not being in the Champions League anymore, and you can see now that's why he's rushing to come out of it. Signed a 2-year deal as well. Probably even thought that it's Manchester United. We're surely finishing top 4. He's going to probably go there. He's going to help the cars. He's going to probably also, I'm sure he wanted to be part of sort of the leadership in the team. Help them, push forward and finish top 4. But when he got there, I think, the simple thing of him, I think, what was that stat? He's the only one. Every game he played in, they won. They struggled to win without him. The Man United players, and I think, with that alone, I think that was in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. But with that alone, he can tell you. He's frustrated, Claudio. He's a frustrated man at the moment. He's a very frustrated man. He wants to go. He doesn't want. It doesn't matter how. Man United means a lot to him, but he wants to play Champions League, and you can see, like as you're saying, it's a do or die situation. He wants to go. He wants to go.
Why does he want to play Champions? Why does he want to play in the Champions League?
So he said he wants.
He doesn't want Messi to overtake him with the goals. That's why.
Yes. And the truth, but you see, that's a man who he's got a goal. And I'm pretty sure he made that. He made that clear.
Messi has to score 15 goals, guys. That's a lot of goals, man. I'm not.
But it's Messi.
Yeah, but he's playing for PSG, guys, as well.
No, but also Messi. Okay, cool. Messi did well in the Champions League last season. I think he scored 8 goals or something. But he won't score 15 goals in the Champions League, guys. He doesn't take penalties for PSG. He's a creator now. He's a number 10. He won't score 15 goals, guys.
But it's, the thing is, Celo, it's if he catches. The thing is, if now, I think Ronaldo's not even worried about Messi alone. It's something that he wants to, when he's done with his career, he wants to make sure he finishes on top. That's why he's willing to even go to Sporting Lisbon. It's that he wants to put every single goal that he can. So when he says, I'm done, that record's going to stay there for a period of time. I think he just wants to write his name in the.
Sporty's going to get knocked out in the group stages anyway, so I don't know why he's doing that.
But if he can score 4 or 5,
yeah, he will.
It's better than 0.
I want to see him make that move because he will score 4 or 5. I'm telling you, if he goes to the group stages, right? But moving on from Ronaldo, but sticking with United, we're not done just yet. Yeah, when you're looking at it, you've got Jim Ratcliffe. Obviously, he was interested in buying Chelsea.
Sir.
He's definitely not going to be a sir if he buys Man United, in my opinion. But anyway, he's interested in buying Man United. The man is a British billionaire, chief executive officer of ENQUIRIES, which is a chemicals company. And, they recently did purchase, but in 2019, they did purchase Nice in Ligue 1. So he does have sort of the somewhat experience in terms of managing a football club. And what's quite interesting about this and nice thing about being in the UK at the moment is you don't have to go onto your phone to look at everything. You just catch the tube or a bus and it's in the newspapers everywhere. Now, what I'm seeing is it is a bit of a stake, not in the entire thing. So what are your opinions here? I know the Man United Trust are urging for anyone to come in and buy something.
Yeah, no. What's happened with Wong?
Don't worry about Wong.
But in terms of this, initially it seems like he says he's interested in a stake in the club because that is what he's heard that the Glazers are willing to do. The Glazers are willing to bring in some capital into the club just to help with some cash flows into the club, especially because the Glazers have never put in their own money into Man United. So they'll probably take these funds that are coming in from an external person and use those funds to channel into to Old Trafford, for instance, and to maybe also help out at Carrington and also to modernize the type of thing, and also maybe just to help out the ladies team as well, because also where they play their games need some uplifting as well. So I think that in itself, yes, it's a good thing, but I would prefer obviously a complete takeover from Sir Jim Ratcliffe. But let's see where it goes. But I do feel that the Glazers are feeling the pressure right now. There is a lot of pressure from the Glazers. You've already seen, I don't know if you've seen, Tim Viewer has already stated that they will not extend their sponsorship. Imagine 1 year into the deal, they're already saying that they will not extend their sponsorship beyond 2024 when it comes to
Man United.
Guys, it comes to an end. Dire States. I'm not going to lie to you. It's so interesting.
I was about to say as well, there's also some clauses as well that from Adidas, if Man United doesn't play in the Champions League next season, Adidas will, I think, reduce the amount of money that they give them, for instance. And then also there's the matter as well that when we bought Ronaldo, we didn't use our own funds as well. We used sponsorships also chipped in to buy Ronaldo. So we don't want to lose Ronaldo because sponsors are going to be like, hey man, we're losing that marketing tool that you guys said we must chip in to buy. Can you guys please pay us back that money, type of thing? So the Glazers don't want to lose Ronaldo, but in fact, behind the scenes at Man United, Ten Hag is willing to let the guy go. You know what I mean?
I'm sure.
He's willing to let the guy go, sign another striker, and then go into the season with just that striker and Martial. You know what I mean? And the other attackers, type of thing. He doesn't mind, but obviously because of the commercial behemoth that Ronaldo is, the Glazers wanted to stay.
This is the interesting thing, Silo, is that me, I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to the football finances type of thing, and it's been the last 10 years. It's been a slow decline, but I was wondering when their performance and their form was going to catch up to them, because there's only so much the commercial success can do in a league like the Premier League, because it's an independent run sort of institution. And it's finally getting to the point. I mean, you saw me last season at the end of it. I was like, Silo, look at this. It's finally happening. They're being caught up now. This is a crucial time for them. They really need to make the right, smart decisions, and they're still not getting it right, seemingly. One last thing, we got Sam saying United sitting at the bottom of the league, first time since 1992, which is quite interesting.
Welcome.
And then we've got, before we move on, Silo, obviously we're talking about the rebuild. You love talking about the Ralph Ragnick. We're needing 10 signings. We've got some rumors that are currently happening. We've got Man United transfer rumors in terms of Pulisic, Felix, Casemiro. Out of all of these names, firstly, do you think any of them are possible? Secondly, which ones do you want to see come in?
Hey man, Claudia, at this point in time, we're all over this place. We've literally been linked with every single possible player out in this world. Right now, it looks like the Casemiro one looks promising in terms of it happening. Felix won't be sold by Atleti. Definitely won't be sold. For a club to buy Felix would take probably 120 million pounds, probably.
They put in a bid, it got rejected.
Yeah.
Do I believe they put in 100 plus? I think it was like 103 mil.
I don't believe we did that. I don't believe we did that because we don't have the kind of money. We've been dilly-daddling around the whole De Jong thing and paying wages and stuff. So I really don't believe that we have the money for Felix. But I think the rumors around Casemiro are building up, and I think the certain people are talking about it. So your David Ornsteins are talking about it. So it seems like it is probably going to happen, or the bid is going to go through. But I am not happy with the strategy of signing a 30-year-old Real Madrid midfielder. We're basically giving Real Madrid the funds that they basically spent on Tchouaméni. They spent 88 million euros, rising to 100 million on Tchouaméni. Now we basically give them 60 million pounds, which is what, 75 million euros. So they basically have a net spend of 10 basically on Tchouaméni, basically. So I think it's not the right strategy. There are players we can identify in the market and try to get those players, guys who are under the age of 25. Ralph Rangnick said it. He said it in one of his first press conferences. He said, you must always, when you sign players, you must sign players who are looking for their second contract, right? Not players who are looking for their third, fourth contract. So what he meant by that is that you get a player who's got his first professional contract at the age of 18, 19, right? They signed for 4 years or whatever. Then they're 22 years old, 23 years old. Then they're looking to sign their next contract. That next contract is where they're going to probably be in their peak, which is the 23 to 27, 28 years. And he said that's what you should be looking for as a club like Man United. You should sign the second contract players and not the third, fourth contract players. You don't sign a player who's 30 plus because he's just going to give you one contract, basically 4 years, no resale value. And I think it's a bad strategy. I think obviously if there is opportunities in the market of players at a steal, that makes sense, but 60 million pounds for Casemiro looks a bit too much, man. But we're desperate. We're desperate.
I think that's the problem that Man United are having now. I mean, I just also read about the one with Rabiot is that now he's the only reason that has gone down is because apparently Man United wants the talk with the wages is not on. Rabiot is asking for too much, and they were saying that
that's good.
And they were saying that now if Rabiot obviously makes ask for less, then it can go through. But I mean that's the situation now. Is that these guys, Man United are going out there now, they're looking they're desperate, and these players are going to be like, oh, Man United. And now Silo's saying as well, now this guy's probably going to do his last contract. He's going to try cash in because he knows after this one, he needs to settle down or maybe go back. Casemiro's thinking maybe he's going to go back to Brazil, go do what Suarez is doing. So, yeah, they're going to all try cash in on this last contract of this. Yeah, they're in a horrible situation.
Imagine we're offering Casemiro more than what he's earning at Real Madrid. I think he's earning 10 million euros, I think, at Real Madrid. We're offering him nearly double what he's earning there. He's going to be, I think he's going to probably earn the same as De Gea and Sancho at the club.
That's stupid.
And
all the signs right now for Man United point at stop. Let's put out all the rubbish and start again. That's all. All the signs are pointing there. Clean. There's nothing you can do. The fans will even understand it, even if they finish. Maybe let's say just out the relegation zone. They'll accept it. Like they will accept it, but they must rebuild. That's all.
So look, this is coming from a former desperate fan to another current desperate fan, seeing his side second currently. I know it's only 2 games, but he's getting excited there. We've got the greasy strangler saying Liverpool will smash Man United 6-0, keep them bottom of the table. Hey, those are from look. A handle called Greasy Strangler. I expect a comment like that. That's an interesting one. We've got Ngom saying he agrees with Silo. Rico, thanks for joining us. He's saying, I was playing keep-ups in my garden. Suddenly a man dressed in United 3-piece suit asked if I wanted to join Man United. Wow, you must be decent then, Rico. Look, Wonga, we've spoken a lot about Man United. We were meant to kick off the show on a positive note. Not a negative note, but your internet was a negative note, just disappearing there, Wonga. So we're going to start.
We need a sponsor.
Yeah, let's get every host. Someone call every host. Let's get in the house.
Every host raise someone.
Something, yeah. Anyway, we got Arsenal 4-2, Leicester You know, they are second of the log. The only reason why they're second currently, they score the same amount of goals as Man City, but it's those 2 goals that they've suffered. Wonga Denga. I mean, let's unpack this. Why are you so excited? What are you seeing that you like so much apart from them scoring 4 goals? What's going on there at this club?
Look, I think even the attacking thing of that attacking option of Gabriel Jesus. You see, the thing is, he's the only one, and I mean, if he gets injured, then no problem. But at the moment, he's fit.
Wonga. We can't say this every show, man. We can't say if Gabriel Jesus gets injured, it's a problem. So Eddie Nketiah doesn't exist, basically. Eddie Nketiah doesn't exist.
Listen, no, Nketiah exists, but he's not Jesus. Guys.
Wonga.
Hey, Nketiah's been at the club. Nketiah's been there, guys. He's been there.
So who scored the most goals in the last 5 games for you guys last season?
Yeah, it was Nketiah.
But listen. Of disregarding your players, I don't like it, bro.
Look, even if we say, even if I say Nketiah's there, there's no more after that. There's Nketiah then who? That's the thing. The depth in my team, I don't believe there's depth in my team as yet.
No,
to be honest with you.
But Martinelli can move to the centre and put Smith Rowe on the left.
But I know Martinelli's going to get injured this season as well. He's got it in him. This is the problem I'm saying. I know you'll see. We'll come back to this middle of the season. If you look at a squad like. If I'm looking at a Liverpool and looking at Man City, the depth in their teams is quite heavy as far as I can see it. But now, I mean, look, I'm not trying to get negative. I mean, at the moment, I mean, let me focus on that Gabriel Jesus.
Trying to manage his performance. Wonga, we understand. You don't want to get like you were last season.
Yeah, we look. Jesus was phenomenal on the day, and we both said, we're only 2 games in. But what I'm seeing, very happy with that. Xhaka getting a goal. Watching the game, I don't know if you guys watched it, but I mean the first check it this guy. I knew it that I was going to pay for this one.
When Xhaka does something right, when Nketiah does something right, when Ramsey does something right, you'll best believe I'll be waiting for you on the show.
Okay, so look, Xhaka, the one thing he did differently for me. In that game, he wasn't the goal he scored wasn't the only opportunity. You could see definitely it was coming. He was getting into the box. I mean, that's something that I've not seen him do, to be honest with you. If he has, then maybe I've not been watching it. But most of that game was only one he got. He was getting in the box, deep in the box. Guys were, if our midfielders having the ball, he was getting in for crosses. And you could see that him, and he looked better, a better player when he was getting into the box, because I mean he was getting on top. I mean at the end of things, and that's what you want to see. You want to try and see the goals. And there's Sam saying that Zinchenko, great signing. Yeah, very very good signing, Zinchenko.
But Wonga is also saying the defense not looking so good. What's your opinion on that?
So take away. I didn't mention the first game. I said Ben White must dip out. I think Saliba must stay there. Gabriel must stay there. And when we
50 million player, you would just want dip out easy. Eh?
Hey, look,
change the source.
I didn't spend
with the source.
We didn't spend the money on him. We didn't spend the money on. It's like.
In case of the vanilla, he wants the chocolate now. He doesn't want that. He wants
choc.
Flavor of the summer. What's that there, Wonga?
It's Tomiyasu. He's the right back for me. Saliba, excellent at the back. I think we did give away 2 goals. I think at times also when we were playing the ball back, the keeper made me worry a bit there. But I just don't like it, especially if a team. The only team that looks comfortable playing at the back is a Man City, playing the ball at the back. And Arteta's come there. He's flipping Guardiola's son. I mean, he's gonna try the same thing as well. It's something I think we need to manage it. I mean, if we can do it, but not this thing of trying to force it, because one day we're going to get caught out and we're not going to be able to score 4 goals every game. But yeah, look, we scored 4. I mean, we second on the log, Claudio. Last year we were where at this time where Celo is. So
the headline there. Hey, all tied on the headline, eh?
We got a good copyright in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus, Arsenal saviour. Also, good to know from an SEO perspective. I was trying to find a picture of Jesus, and it's good to know that the real Jesus pops up before this Jesus. Just in case you're wondering. I think we'd have an issue if it was the other way around. And I'm in England, by the way, so you know the SEO is all right here. So Wonga Denga, but what is the impact this man is having on the Arsenal squad right now? Is he the player that's just there buying into Arteta's thing and pretty much preaching the gospel, so to speak, that they were struggling with when Aubameyang was there?
Yeah, look, I think, like I said, 2 games in, what he's shown, definitely. I mean, look, he's one-on-one, where we've seen as well. I mean, to lead up to the goal, it looks like he can do that week in, week out. And Gabriel Jesus, he really is a team player. You know, I think I last heard the coach of Brazil was saying that that Jesus, they asked him, I mean, whether he wanted to play on the wing or in the middle, you know, and he was saying that he doesn't mind, you know, he'll play wherever. I mean, some people are looking at it as if he's not sort of assertive, you know, doesn't really know what he wants. He just, you know, he just lets people walk over him. But I mean, look, I think for me, if you look at another point of view, the guy I saw on Saturday, I think that's someone who's just willing to work for the team. He says if he's effective on the wing, he can do it on the wing. He did it for Man City towards his end of his spell at Man City. And here you can see, I mean, gee whiz, I mean, this was it the first goal that he put in? Jeez. I mean, it was just a turn and back of the net. I didn't even, I wasn't expecting it to even take a shot, you know, still looking for someone to pass to, but yeah, he's put it in. I mean, yeah, he's can definitely fill those shoes of Aubameyang. I don't think they're even that big anyways.
And the man's struggling there even to get game time now at the moment. People want to buy.
Yeah, Aubameyang is another issue. Is another issue. Aubameyang. I mean, after I still agree with what Arteta did with him. To be honest with you, there's no ways.
We got Ngom saying he was his FPL captain. That's a hell of a captain. Good call, by the way. Rico saying this is the first time I look at Arsenal and go, yep, that striker fits Arsenal playing style.
And Claudio, to actually mention, I mean, even if you're looking at our rivals Tottenham, what's kept us, Arsenal, going as a club is that man up front. Always has been. There was a time when I can't remember who went away now, who were losing. But when Adebayor came into Arsenal, we played him. There were doubts. What happened? Boom. He started firing, you know. And then, yeah, he became wayward and, yeah, things happened. He left. Van Persie came.
You still got Nketiah waiting nicely there. So yeah, the strike is a good thing. You seem to have filled that position.
And you know, but on that point, Claudio, Nketiah maybe just deserves a chance, like you're saying. Like Adebayor got a chance and he took it. Nketiah, how much of a chance?
The season is long. Wonga, you still have Europa League. Nketiah can start the Europa League games, build some confidence, you know.
No, I agree with you.
Right, but you mentioned the rivals, and now we're going to move to the rivals because it was a hell of a game. I think it was the one prediction I got right this week, and it only came right at the end. The Chelsea 2, Spurs 2. Big game, big fight, gents. Some are calling it the Battle of the Bridge. Come on, Settle. Come on.
Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah,
no, it was a great game. I really enjoyed watching the game. But Chelsea should have won that game. Having taken the lead twice. Havertz had an amazing chance. Chelsea really need a striker, guys. They need someone who's clinical up front, but also
Ronaldo.
Someone who's actually no. Ronaldo's not.
But do you think that should happen?
No.
Yes.
No. You know why? Someone made an interesting fact. Chelsea need a striker that is mobile and has great link-up play for the type of style they play, in terms of type of football that they play. They need someone who can link up well. That's why Lukaku didn't play well in that structure, because he can't link the play well. So you need someone who can link the play well.
But you can't compare Lukaku and Ronaldo. Ronaldo's at least can hold the ball and do some things.
Yeah, Lukaku, when he has the first touch, it's like kicking the ball against the wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's got a brick. It
doesn't sit. It comes back to you. You know what I mean? Type of thing. So yeah. So I think.
But these are the same guys that said the 85 million transfer pound fee would have been a game changer for Chelsea last season. So don't take what we're saying with a pinch of salt.
Hey, man. He sold us dreams with his Inter Milan performances. You also said the same thing. We all said it.
Yeah, but it went. But you remember, his mind wasn't there, guys.
We were sold dreams, guys. No, but still.
Yeah, we were sold.
Also,
Okay, but let's. This is a good point. Spurs. I mean, you've commented. Both of you have said Chelsea should have won this game. Sam saying
guys,
Spurs weren't good, but here's the thing: they weren't good. But the Conte effect. How much of an effect in terms of them staying in the game and getting something out of that? How much of a role is he going to play in terms of the season for them?
Yeah, one guy.
The ref, for me.
I mean,
the first decision. Look, the first decision, you could see that the ball was touched. The first tackle, yeah, sure. But then the one that led to the corner being taken again. I understand. They say that pulling hair is not in the rule book. Okay.
Well,
like this is violent conduct.
It is. A few years back, Ronaldo, while playing for Juventus, pulled someone's hair and got a straight red card.
Yeah, so this is. But remember, Fellaini also. It was also done to Fellaini. I remember. I can't remember who did it to him, and I think that time he was playing for Man United. And then, but now looking at this one, there were guys, even the guys in the studio, like Michael Owen and them. I'm trying to understand. Oh, was it Michael Owen? Who was there? No, it wasn't Michael Owen. But I'm just trying to understand. It was Zola and I can't remember the other guy.
And Ian Wright.
No, Ian Wright wasn't there. It was another one.
No, it wasn't Ian Wright. So it was Zola and Glenn Hoddle.
Yes, Glenn Hoddle. That's the one. So now they said their argument was that both of the guys are tussling each other, right? They're pushing each other. Cool, I get that. But one has stepped out of the tussling and he's pulled the guy's hair. So he's gone. The other guy's gone one step further. So shouldn't that be given? But I think they were really hard done by with that decision. I think Tottenham were very lucky. Entertaining game, yes, but I think Tottenham were very lucky to get the draw. But again, I don't care. So they cancel both each other. They cancel each other out. We move forward. Let's go. That's what matters to me now.
All right. And on that note, I mean, Ngom's saying controversial game it was, but overall entertaining, and that's what we wanted. And it was good to see the managers fighting the dugout. No opinion on that. I think it adds some spice and flavor to the show.
Do you, Claudio? Do you guys think they actually should have gotten cards for that, man?
For the pulling of the hair.
No, not the pay. I mean
the coaches.
The refs.
Yeah, the coaches.
Look, they were both fired up. I suppose they do it because they don't want managers to behave like that. If they don't do it, they set a precedent. So
next thing they'll be punching each other, and we say, "Oh, it's okay."
Hey man, if they punch each other, then they make more money from a boxing ring. Maybe Daniel Levy can host the boxing ring in the new stadium. That's a possibility. But gentlemen, next game we're going to be talking about is, because we've still got a bit to cover here, but just briefly, we're looking at the Liverpool 1, Crystal Palace 1 now.
Not brief, Claudio. Can we ask you a question? Why does Virgil van Dijk sprint and then stop when Zaha's about to shoot? Like he sprints and then he slows down.
I can't
understand why a player slows down just before. I was like, this guy, he sprinted and then he slowed down just before Zaha's about to take the shot. So if he continued sprinting, I think he could have slid like Nemanja Vidic or John Terry and tried to disturb Zaha. I just couldn't understand. I was like, this guy going to say, miss.
I think Virgil van Dijk. I think Virgil van Dijk trusted his keeper a bit too much there. I think what he's expecting was Zaha, because Zaha is going to maybe cut in or something. But yeah, I agree. I think he should have maybe. But I mean, if he looks back at it, maybe he'll change his mind when something like that happens in the future. But he should have. Yeah, he should have. I think he should have gone in there 100%. Let Zaha cut him if he has to cut in, and then give the keeper, at least that gives a few seconds for the keeper to do something else there. But I think he's trying to he thinks Zaha's gonna cut in, try maybe do something fancy, but he buried it. And what did I say last week, guys, about Man United and Liverpool? And guys were disrespecting me. I thought I was joking.
Wonga's done his homework all season. But just one last comment on the Van Dijk thing. I think the reason he doesn't dive in is, number one, he doesn't like diving in. But number two, the previous week he did dive in. He got it completely wrong and he gave away a penalty, even though he might have thought it was harsh. Yes. It was a penalty nonetheless. So I think that was playing at the back of his mind. But it also shows you in terms of the partnership that he has. There's a lot of talk about Van Dijk, but he was playing with Phillips. And obviously all the injuries came into play from a Liverpool perspective. perspective, which again, Wonga obviously he saw and he made the prediction based on these sort of things. Whereas from a Liverpool side, we were like, no, they're playing at home, and we kind of overestimated their performance. We are lacking some things there. We know Thiago is a big miss now. The only problem is he doesn't play a full season anyway, so it doesn't really help us. But he was the difference in terms of playing some balls down the middle. We're going to talk about the other guy that we need to talk about, and the Carol in the room, so to speak, or at least that's what everyone on Twitter is saying. They're comparing Nunes to Andy Carroll. I don't know if that's a fair comparison this early in the game.
The Uruguayan Andy Carroll. Hey, bro, listen. All I can say is that that guy was round up, and Anderson played him to the book, bro. Anderson, like little nudges, just a little, a little, and then his blood was boiling, and then he reacts.
But I mean, that was the treatment he was getting the whole game.
Welcome to the Premier League, basically, for Nunes, I think, eh?
And it was interesting as well, because it's funny because he's got the look and the move of a Torres, but the difference is the Torres had the size to get away with it. So his first touch wasn't necessarily the greatest, but his body was able to muscle off defenders and get ahead. And I think they might have overestimated that side of his game a little bit coming in. I mean, Klopp's already come out saying, look, there's no way for any player to behave, but at least now he's got some time off. We can get him into the gym. And I think that was a frustration for him. He was getting manhandled out there and he was struggling. And his focus is banging the balls in the back of the nets. And he had one or two chances and he didn't take them. That's pretty much what it was. And it kind of overheated, overboiled. And that was a scenario. You can't be doing that, not in any side, never mind Liverpool side at home, in your home debut. So it was a bit disappointing. But I think the result in the end wasn't a bad one for Liverpool coming down from 10 men. And again, it was the new signing. The other new signing from January that has hit the ground running, who had to pull the rabbit out of the bag for us. So not too bad from that perspective, but it does lead us to the next sort of thing that we have to talk about, and that is the Liverpool Man United game. We're going to talk about this one separately prior to doing the other stuff, largely because it is the feature of the weekend. And, all the talk about Man United, where they're at, Liverpool right now, haven't picked up a win. And the conversation, gents, in terms of Liverpool have already drawn 2 games. No side in the Premier League has ever won it since 2016, drawing more than 6. They've already done 2. Can they afford more? And I mean, right now, if Man United are to play Liverpool, it is a time where they've got 6 or 7 injuries. Let me just read out the injury list. They've got Joel Matip injured, Firmino, I think he trained a little bit, but they kept him out. So we had Thiago injured, Konate injured, Jones injured, Jota injured, Chamberlain injured, Keller injured, and then we got Nunes suspended. So not a bad time for Man United.
You can't ox.
Yeah, he's always been injured, to be fair. That's probably why we were overhyped last week.
Bruh.
Exactly, man. He's always been injured, man. Man. Like that's one player I thought you guys were probably going to sell off to a newly promoted side, maybe like a Forrest or something. You could get 10, 15 million pounds for him. You could actually add value to those sides if it. But yeah, I think the injuries don't help you guys at all. But hey, listen, I think obviously you guys at least have a settled side and a settled coach. I think you guys will obviously go into the game with more confidence than what we have. You guys took us apart last season at Old Trafford. We were nowhere in that game. So I think already you guys have the confidence. As we're still trying to get to grips with how we should be playing, and also I think we're mentally weak as a side. So because we're mentally weak, if we get the first goal, that will help our confidence. But if we concede, I foresee 3 goals minimum if we concede first. But if we score first, we can definitely win the game or draw the game. Or lose the game like a 2-1, for instance. You know what I mean? But if you score first...
If you score first, that pressure, all of a sudden, it's like a pendulum. That pressure all of a sudden goes to Liverpool. Then they start thinking, if we drop points here, there's going to be a huge inspection here. Like, everyone's expecting United to get a hiding. That's where they've got a bit of an advantage there. Wonga, what do you think?
No, I'm just chuckling because I think if Man United get... I think they lose. But if they get drubbed like hard 4-0 again just after getting beaten by Brentford. I mean, you remember last year when Luke got beaten by Liverpool, it caused a huge, the fans are not happy at all. Now if it happens a second, you've just seen them now after they've beaten 4-0 off to Brentford. Even now the owners said, okay, now we're willing to give away some shares or what. Now if they come and lose again second time in a row, if Liverpool put in another 4, I think the fans, I think you'll see a huge movement there. There's no ways that you can't respond to that. Like, Man United have to respond.
Yeah, they have to respond, but this is where we're going to see the qualities of a manager and a Ten Hag. Because if you are and like, I understand where Man United, we all understand where they're at right now, but you can't go toe to toe with Liverpool on the weekend or on the Monday they're coming. You've got to sit deep and you've got to frustrate them, because Liverpool right now are struggling to break teams down, and it's similar to how the season ended for them. And I always say how the team ends is how they normally start the next season, and that's obviously proven to be the case here. They have to go wide and they get the ball in the box. And now without Nunes, we're struggling for target men up there. So that's going to be an interesting thing. So if Man United do frustrate them, there could be potentially some sort of a I don't know what, a momentum builder for Man United in terms of confidence boost, if he does that right. But now the situation is settled. If he takes that approach and he gets stumped, what is the situation as a fan?
It's going to be real.
Listen, Claudia, at the end of the day as well, a manager needs to be backed in terms of to bring in the signings that he requires. Also in time as well, So I think that in itself, listen, guys, our midfield, guys, you can just see the quality of the midfield is not there. You know what I mean? You cannot be using McTominay, especially. Fred, at least I can give him some leeway in terms of he's had actually good, decent performances in the club. But McTominay is a woeful centre back, guys. He doesn't even start in the midfield for Scotland, the country that's above England, the country that's right above England, guys, where he starts as a right centre back in a back three, guys. John McGinn and Bobby Gilmore start ahead of him for Scotland. But that just shows you he, as a player, shouldn't be starting for a club like Man United. He doesn't have the quality. He doesn't have the like his first touch is not good. He takes the wrong decisions. He's got energy apparently, but the energy, what is energy if your energy doesn't help the team go forward or to disturb the opponent? So I feel that our midfield is our biggest weakness, and because we don't have a good midfield, I can't really blame Ten Hag because he doesn't have a midfield signing. You know what I mean? I can't blame the coach because the heart of the team is where you need to obviously sign, and he doesn't have anything. He literally just has a centre back, a left back, and Eriksen. He's got 3 signings, and that's about it, guys. How can a manager come into a new team that has been doing poorly, and also that lost Pogba and Matic in the midfield? We lost 2 players that are better than McTominay. And you're telling me we're going to do well in the midfield? Come on. No ways.
Yeah, I think...
that's another problem.
Rick was saying, I'd argue United less pressure, everybody expecting them to lose. Sam saying, well, both teams will be thinking it's a good time to face each other. Injury suspension for Liverpool. United under too much pressure. I think from a Liverpool perspective, Klopp's going to probably tell them, go out there early, dominate the game, and let's get something. Let's get our season back on track.
Last season, we had nothing to lose, but we still lost. Come on, doesn't really matter. That thing doesn't matter, guys.
Hammered.
It doesn't matter when you play a good team. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like you have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? I was watching Kaizer Chiefs on the weekend. Kaizer Chiefs had nothing to lose against the champions. Then we lost 4-0 as well. There's nothing like that, guys. When a team is better than you and they take their chances, it's done. It's done, guys. That's football. If a team is better than you and they take their chances, they could have 3 chances and have 3 shots on target. And it's done.
I think the biggest loser here is Nunes. Nunes could have kicked off his real account there at Old Trafford, and now that chance has gone out the window. But we do need to talk about this team. We know Nottingham Forest won over the weekend. They did sign Jesse Lingard. There's a lot of speculation in England. You know, the thing about the English fans here is that, or the press rather, is they make it very personal about who they think and what they think players should do. Like, they criticize this man for choosing Nottingham Forest. He goes there, they win 1-0. Obviously, Declan Rice misses the penalty. Nonetheless, here's the situation. And today, they go out and they spend more money. Their total spending spree, I think it is now, sitting at £143 million. Their second largest spending. Obviously, they've come in, they're putting all their eggs in one basket. They've got a fairly young manager. Well, I say young, he's 42, but in terms of experience, he's young. But in terms of Premier League experience, rather. But he's doing the thing at the moment. He's doing the thing, Steve Cooper. He signed 21 players this season, gentlemen. And some good players. Some of them with good experience.
Let's also remember why they signed 21 players. I also didn't understand why they signed 21 players. But then I remembered that they had so many players on loan last season. They had loan players, so they had a Manchester United centre mid, James Garner in the midfield. They had the guy who's just signed for Spurs, Jed Spence, who was from Middlesbrough. They had probably, I think, about 5 players on loan that they were using in their team, and then they've sold their goalkeeper left, who was actually a good keeper. I think they lost 10 players, but still 21's a lot. Eh? They buy their way themselves to try and stay in.
Look, man, they've signed some quality players. When I'm saying quality players, I'm saying players with experience.
No,
and obviously, the type of football that he's playing, Steve Cooper, is he wants to play an attractive football and a sort of open football, keeping possession. And he's come out, and also his history. For those of you who don't know, he did start. I'm not giving him any praise. I'm just telling you what his career is. He did start out at Liverpool as an academy coach. He started coaching the junior under 16s and under 17s, England and international players. So he's worked with the likes of Jadon Sancho, Hudson-Odoi, Raheem Sterling. So he's got this sort of flair about him in terms of how he wants them to play. But the players in particular that he's brought in Tawu. He scored on the weekend. Awoni, he was a former Liverpool player, Nigerian. They signed him from Union Berlin. They got Neco Williams, obviously, at right back. Premier League experience. Obviously, didn't start week in, week out, but he's got a point to prove. They've got Emmanuel Dennis from Watford. Again, a striker who did really well. Another Nigerian. Yeah, did very, very well. I mean, these are just a few of the players that we're mentioning about. But the other one I want to talk about is the former Atalanta captain that they've managed to convince to join them. Remo Freuler. I mean,
yes,
they got some key players. And then, of course, I haven't even mentioned Jesse Lingard yet. So they've done good business.
And Dean Henderson on loan and in the goals.
Exactly, another one. And then they've got someone else who's quite interesting. But we've got Cole Jenkinson there, Wonga, just for you, just to make sure that they've signed guys from all over. Man United.
Oh, is he there?
Yeah, they signed him. They signed him from Melbourne, Melbourne City.
What a throwback!
Yeah. He's still around, in case anyone was wondering. And also, forget about Kouyaté. They signed Kouyaté from Crystal Palace.
Yes, free transfer, yeah.
So some good players in the mix. So will they survive, gents?
I think
it's very early, but will they survive?
Wait, who do I want to get relegated this season?
So has Everton signed anyone?
Yeah, they have. They signed a very good centre mid. They say he's apparently the best. They say he's the best Belgian prospect right now. West Ham also wanted to sign him. So he played, I think he came out in the second half in their last game now. And then they signed Conor Cody. They're about to sign Idrissa Gueye as well. But I think they need to sign a striker, guys, because Calvin isn't 100% fit. And then they lost Richarlison. I think they need upfront reinforcements.
They need to sign. They need to make more signings, definitely, if they want to stay up.
Do they survive Nottingham Forest, yes or no?
Yes.
Wonga?
If I say I think they survive, yeah. I think with the intent, I think they survive. But yes, if they survive, who goes down?
Listen, Nottingham Forest, guys, that stadium is a hard place to play. And I mean, you're seeing West Ham struggle there. The fans are getting behind them. They've thrown a lot of money. So there's going to be a lot of belief there at that club. This is a last random sort of topic. And I say random in the context of today's conversation, but we got Haaland. He's yet to choose a sponsor. The other day, he went out with Nike Adidas shoes and a Nike top. He upset some fans on Twitter, but his dad's saying, play the game. Because right now, when we're looking at it, he's got the options of Nike, Adidas, and Puma all chasing him. Now, the question I've got for you two is that who should he pick if he's got to pick someone? I mean, we're looking at sort of Nike. We've got Ronaldo. We've got Jordan. We've got Mbappe. We know they've got Tiger, Nadal. So they're quite known for their brand ambassadors and creating brands for them. We've got Adidas with Messi, Pogba, Salah. We know, the impossible is nothing. And then we've got Puma, who Neymar's recently just jumped ship. Yeah, so he's just jumped ship in 2020, got Griezmann and Bolt. So if you had a pick for Haaland in terms of his future career and trajectory, and if you were his dad and agent, which brand would you choose?
Nah, if I'm Haaland, I'm choosing Nike. I think yes, Mbappe is there already, but I think just because Nike or Puma, guys. Nike or Puma. Not Adidas for him, but I think Nike or Puma is the one to go for. I think Nike would be probably the best fit for him. Just looking at, just feels like a right fit, man. He's a striker, guys. Strikers don't wear Adidas, guys.
But does he seem he's not flamboyant enough for like that nice? Nike traditionally, you look at the guys. Obviously, he's got the pace. He's got the raw pace. But Mbappe is the pace. Mbappe is the pace there. Wonga, what do you think?
I think he takes a Puma. I think he goes
Why?
for Puma.
Why?
I don't know. I just think from just the way I think a Puma would look better on him, and Mbappe is already there. He must create this rivalry. Don't make it boring. Make it completely. It must be Haaland or Mbappe. That's what it must be. And he must not choose Nike. Choose Adidas. Or I don't see him with Adidas, but yeah, choose Adidas or Puma.
Look, he played his preseason. He's been in Adidas.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but he's switching in and out. But I think to Selo's point, I think if we're looking at building a brand, I think Nike do it best. And, there's a potential sort of spin-off for Haaland. I don't know, whatever he needs to come with.
Those guys, have you seen
Puma.
Nike's adverts, guys? Nike just know how to do things, how to remind you of a person, how to, the story of a player, guys, or a story of a person.
So I suppose, Selo, just do it or impossible is nothing. That's the question. Just do it. Just do it, Haaland. Come on.
Just do it, Haaland.
Puma can do the same. They've got a lot of history. Puma, they can do the same.
No. Puma's doing well. I think who is it? Raheem. Who's Raheem still in with? Is Raheem
Puma?
Puma.
No.
It's Puma.
Yeah,
it's Puma, right?
Yeah.
Raheem Sterling's the Puma. Aguero was with Puma, and then as you said, Neymar is obviously with Puma as well. So I think
Griezmann Puma.
Suarez
Puma.
All right. So, well, let's move away from that. We've come to the consensus. We've said Nike on our side. Me and Selo Wonga, you said Puma. That's fine. Let's see what he lands up with. We're gonna just end off with the predictions of. We've obviously quick fire. We're gonna start with the Man Utd Liverpool game. Wonga Denga, Selo. Let's hear them. Quick fire. Yeah, quick. It's
4-0 to Liverpool.
That's flat.
Okay, 4-1.
4-1.
Yeah, I say 2-1 to Liverpool.
2-1 to Liverpool. Liverpool have to win, gents. I'm going to say 2-1 to Liverpool too. Newcastle, Man City. The reason I'm saying Newcastle versus Man City and why we need to talk about this is because a possibility of an upset. Is that on the cards for us this weekend?
No.
I don't think so.
Not yet.
No, I think they'll be humbled.
Don't worry, guys. I know the teams that are going to disturb Man City. It's not Newcastle at St. James's, right? But Man City will win. Don't worry. The teams that disturb Man City are like Crystal Palace, Southampton.
But last season Newcastle did disturb them, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Was it
guys,
before?
Is it?
But
yeah.
I can't remember.
No. Okay, quick fire. I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory to Man City.
I say 3-1. I say 3-1 to Man City. They've got Haaland. That guy scores goals. So always add him in there.
All right, I'm going to say it's going to be a tight one. I'm going to say 1-1 draw. I'm making more of a prediction like Wonga normally makes a Wonga prediction. Yeah. Sam's saying 2-0 City. Rico saying 3-1 to United. What, Rico? What are you smoking, sir?
Yes. Come on, Rico.
Wait. Maybe he's talking Newcastle. He's talking about the real United, said, or Newcastle United. There we go, Rico.
There's only one United.
No, the real one, Newcastle United. Last game that we're going to give a prediction for is the Bournemouth versus Arsenal game because Wonga's in the house. Otherwise, we wouldn't care. Am I right, Selo?
Yeah, I wouldn't care. I didn't even know they're playing Bournemouth.
Oh.
Steve Parker's gonna cause an upset. 1-0 to Bournemouth.
3-0 to Arsenal. Climbing boy.
Goals. Those are goals, eh? You think they're gonna put another? So you saying fantasy league team lock and load on Arsenal players this weekend?
Yeah, Shaka might just score a hat trick. These guys are playing.
You saw Sam had a question there at the top there. Don't miss Sam's question there.
Where?
What's Sam said?
Based on the last 2 game weeks. Each one, name who you think has been the best signing so far. Oy. What, FPL signing or signing for the club? Oh, for the Premier League signing.
Haaland, forget. Haaland.
No. I think you're right, Wonga. No, sorry. For me, it's William Saliba's. Oh, but that's not a new signing. Sorry. Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus. I say Jesus.
I say Jesus.
Yeah, in terms of because technically you'd say Man City.
Haaland
could still survive without Haaland.
Haaland had 8 touches on the weekend. 8, guys.
Dude, but that's all
because then past him.
8 touches.
Past him
guys.
and he'll score.
8.
Past
Sam,
him and used to score.
Sam, you asked us a question. Tell us who you think is the best signing so far.
Yeah.
We got Ngom saying 3-1 to Arsenal, so goals, more goals. Sam saying 4-0 to Arsenal, more goals. Lock and load, boys. That FPL
Hey,
team
Sam.
is calling
Hey.
some Arsenal players there.
New year, new team. I like these predictions. Come on, guys. Yes.
I'm gonna say Steve Parker there too. Stevie Parker too. Upset things there. Yeah.
That's good. Come on.
1-1 draw is what I'm saying. See, I'm putting Wonga predictions. Ignore everything I'm saying today.
Disturb the Gunners. Disturb the Gunners there at the top there. Disturb them.
Impossible, guys. It's impossible.
You see? Sorry, when
Sam
it starts to get cocky like this, guys, it's a problem.
It's impossible.
The universe knows. It's an Arsenal running theme joke. Get cocky, humble them. Give them humble pie. Right, gents. Ngom saying Jesus for me is the best signing. Sam saying Wonga, if you say Haaland, Jesus will stop scoring. So just remember that.
He won't be a savior anymore.
And he's saying stick with Jesus. Right, gents, final thoughts before we wrap up. Let's hear it.
No, let Man United get a new ownership, and let's change the Glazers. Glazers out.
Yes, let Ronaldo go. And when you let him go, Chelsea must buy him. I want to see him at Chelsea. Banging in there. And then he must score against Man United even. A hat-trick.
And then you must go, Sue!
Yes, at least for one of them. At least. Oh, that'll be funny.
All right, gents, from a Goal Lounge perspective, we just want to make an announcement that we will be only covering pre-match Muti moving forward. We're going to take it from there, and we're going to see how things work. We want to focus our attention and efforts in terms of making this show really good, and we want to make sure that you bring all your friends and family to this show instead of both shows, because I see sometimes some people show on a Tuesday, show up, then they show up on a Thursday, and we don't want that. We want everyone here, and for everyone who's joined us, we want to say thank you, we love you. You know that, and I'm looking you in the eye now. You know who you are. You know. Right, gents. How do we end the show on a Thursday? 3, 2, 1.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it, gents. Stop it.